in the next couple of days' time. So this is the official program that will run from April up until end of November officially in preparation for 2023 APC sitting. So at the end of the program, the idea is that we will then be issuing certificates to the eligible candidates to sit for the SciCam APC. So it's going to be a very interesting journey. And what we just want to do tonight is just to help you understand how the journey has been put together. What were some of the considerations that we took in putting this journey together for you, and also how you really need to engage with the program in order to really make sure that you get the very best out of it. And it's also quite important as part of that journey to understand what have we put across or before you, so that at the end of the day, you can really say, I'm a competent professional. So what it will mean is that during the course of this presentation, we'll then outline the team that is involved. We will also, Mitembe, can you just move to the next slide, please? So at the journey here, you will then see that, yeah, it is to welcome those that maybe have not been with EPC before or with any of the Endonamo brands. We'll just introduce where EPC sits, and then we'll go into the detail of what our program entails, and that is the bulk of tonight's discussion. And we'll then have a general information just around pricing, registration, protocols, and so on. And if you have any questions, please don't wait until the end. You can pause us at any time by either raising your hand or by either typing in the chat, and one of the team members will then assist as we go. So EPC. So as I mentioned before, EPC, it's an enormous brand that is exclusively involved in the delivery of the APC professional program. So we are one of the 3 accredited providers by SciCam, which means that at the end of the program, as I mentioned, we have the authority to issue certificates of eligibility. The certificates that will then issue you are valid for 3 years, including this year's sitting and 2 more attempts. And essentially, what will then happen is that we will then have a criteria that will outline and communicate to you in terms of what one needs to do before they get the certificate. And Fedi will also share briefly about how that works. And what we've then done is that there are some key elements of what we consider to be a professional, competent professional that we have put together as part of our development journey that will then walk you through so that you fully understand where you are starting and where you'll be ending at the end of the day. And the program is then open for first-time candidates as well as repeat candidates. And during the course of the year, you might see that there will be other candidates that also are enrolled, but their program is a bit different, like the case study package for candidates that already have a valid certificate that will now be looking at what? That will be now looking at just polishing up their case study preparations. So that is some of the candidates that will have. But you being enrolled in the professional program, it means that you go through the 3 phases that we've designed in order to see you demonstrate competence at the end. And in terms of the team that is involved, there are essentially 6 key professionals. So on top of the list, it's Fedi, who is our academic head. In his capacity as the academic head, he looks after the quality of the program, the academic excellence, just to make sure that whatever we give or put before you, it's really helping you develop to become that a competent professional. In terms of the experience, he has been the technical reviewer for the SAICA APC from its launch until the date that we are accredited in 2022. So from 2014 up until 2019, he was the one that will sit with the SAICA APC examination committee, engage on the paper, challenge and challenge some of the elements, and then they will consider his input into finalizing the paper. So those are some of the insights that are then brought into the program just to help you to really be aligned in terms of what SAICA expects of you, and therefore what the program aims to do and what kind of professional would like to see you at the end of the day. And then the next on the list is myself. Uh, I run two roles. I'm the managing director of the program, or the organization delivering the program, as well as part of the lecturing team. In terms of my focus, I'm involved in accounting, management, accounting and finance, strategy and risk management. But my core competence area is management, accounting and finance. So anything related to that, you'll see that you'll be working closely with myself. I have been involved in marking previous SAICA APC assessments as well as ITC assessments. And the insights that I've taken from that are some of the insights that I'll be sharing with you throughout the program. Then we've got our accounting or IFRS specialist, which is Asen. So Asen, as one of the professional team members, he looks after accounting as well as tax, but his primary competence area is accounting. So most of the accounting engagements, he will be the one leading them with you. Then we've got Kumu, who is our governance champion, and he focuses on auditing, ethics, as well as governance. So when it comes to professional behavior, when it comes to professional ethics and so on, he will be the one leading those engagements accordingly. Then we have Elton. Elton is also in the management, accounting and finance, strategy and risk management. So we work quite closely with Elton, but one of the key area that he leads for us is that of critical thinking. So he is currently involved in a PhD in critical thinking. So the insights that he will share in terms of how to really approach your work, how to really approach the case study are just going to be invaluable in terms of your development as an entry-level chartered accountant. And lastly, we've got our mentorship director who looks after the mentorship team. So the mentorship is very interlinked with the caretaking activities, as well as any coaching support that will then be providing to you as part of the APC professional program. So you will see that in addition to then having the technical team or the professional team, we really believe that a fully fledged professional is one that has emotional resilience. If you can imagine what happened last year in the APC 2021 on the 1st of December, that those kind of circumstances will really want you to demonstrate more than knowing your work. Because knowing your work but being under stressful condition as the ones that the candidates saw themselves last year requires more than what the professional team will normally give you. So we've got some exciting elements in the 2022 program, which some of them will be coordinated with our partner from Novalo, which will then formally introduce once the program is kicked off for the benefit of the candidates already in the program and so on. But it's very exciting what we've planned for you and how that will then be integrated to help you become a competent professional. Then in addition to having the technical team, or what I call the development team, we also have what we call the APC caretaking team. So this is just to make sure that from an administrative aspect, from just clarity and any other matter relating to the program, that you've got the support throughout. So it could be that you're trying to access my universe. It could be that you're trying to find something there. It could be that you're trying to follow up on something. It could be that you're trying to just clarify something from an admin perspective. It could be that we're just checking up on you to see how you're doing. The caretaking team are the ones that look after you. And for us, they're just more than the support team, because they are there to care for all your program needs during your time with us. And the person on top or leading those initiatives, it's Zelia. Some of you will have already spoken to her, either finding out about the program, any pricing or any other matters. But you will see that throughout the program, she's quite involved in terms of just making sure that all the announcements reach you on time, and everything that you need to know, you are well on top of during the course of the program. She is supported by Mitembe, who is the online person. Any challenges that you may have with online, my universe or otherwise, he is your person. Then we've got Tendo, who looks after our finance processes. So corporate arrangements, invoicing, anything when it comes to kicking off Tutuka. If we partner with them this year, she will then be the person to assist with that. Then we've got the APC coordinator, who really runs the program and just then become the bridge between what the professional team and what the caretaking team wants to then deliver to you. So most of the time, if you have any issues or challenges with the caretaker online or finance, you can then escalate it to her as the key a person coordinating the program. And then if there are other issues that you feel that they need to be brought to management's attention, being myself, Fedi as the academic head, then you can email us directly on EPC. So that email will come directly to us, and we will then attend to any issues on an urgent basis to ensure that you still get the best experience from this program. Then, in terms of the professional program, so next slide, please. Fedi will then be taking you through from this slide, just to have a sense of what is included in the program and also how we deliver the program. Fedi?
Thank you, Rendani. Good evening, everyone. Really excited to be talking to you about the program tonight. My job is not a difficult one. Just going to firstly on the slide focus on the 9 distinguishing features of our program relative to other programs. So what are our 9 promises to you? Firstly, we promise you a rigorous feedback process. What do I mean by that is that our program, both in terms of short tasks or case study tasks, you will be receiving a very detailed feedback that is very personal to you. So maybe taking it to the case studies. So for every single case study, what you will be receiving after attempting the case study will be feedback from the marker. So it goes through a marker, and the marker will outline what are the areas that you've done well, the areas that you did not do so well in, and what is the best advice that the marker can give you going forward. That feedback gets reviewed before it comes to you, so that anything that is out of context can be picked up by the reviewer and fixed to ensure that the feedback that you ultimately receive is the best feedback and also an appropriate level of feedback for you to be able to do something about it. In addition to that level of feedback, you will be receiving feedback from a number of sources. So you will be receiving feedback for short tasks, such as the business writing from the business writing experts or communication experts. You will be receiving feedback from our critical thinking task as and when you go through the program. And I'm going to take you through how we package this program. So this level of feedback enables you to really work on your development and develop your professional skills and become a competent professional at the end of the day. The second a proposition and a unique distinguishing feature for us is that we guide you through the APC process. So we spend the whole month where we take you through what SAICA expects of you to say, not just simulating how you're going to have to do it, but actually doing it with you to say, from day one, when you receive the APC pre-release information, which is the first part of the case study from SAICA, what should you be doing with that pre-release? You spend 5 days of research. What do you do in that research phase? What should you be researching? How does one undertake a research? And all of that. And on the day of the assessment, which is day number 6, what should I be doing to make sure that I cope within those 8 hours? So all that is taken. We take you through that in the in the full month and in stages to make sure that you understand from one stage to the next as to how you should be progressing. In addition, of providing you with that level of detail of the guidance through the process is just to how to mentally prepare yourself through that process. And that's why it moves me into the third promise, that we've got such an innovative mentorship program headed up by Ere, as Randani has mentioned earlier. This program for us is critical to making sure not only of your mental health and mental well-being, but in addition to that, to make sure that technically and professionally you are well equipped to be able to deal with this assessment. And secondly, you are well equipped to succeed as a responsible business leader in practice. So how do they do that? So the mentorship program is very detailed in the sense that with your mentors, you will have a one-on-one sessions that are predetermined on the timetable just to make sure that you are able to identify whether you are falling behind with your mentor or not. At what point should I be engaging with my mentors? Initially, I need to break the ice with my mentor and really introduce myself so that I build enough level of rapport with my mentor, and the mentor can be able to tell who I am, how I work, what are my expectations, and equally, I'm able to listen to the mentor. But in addition to that, for every case study, for every task that we write, you need to provide feedback to the mentor, and it helps you reflect in terms of how the assessment has gone, so that once you evaluate how the assessment has gone, you've internalized it, you've gone through your self-assessment, self-reflection, you talk to someone and say, this is how I'm reflecting and this is how I'm able to improve going forward. The mentors are quite involved in our marking processes. So these are the mentors that have also been quite involved in our processes and understand our program very well. So they will be able to say, yes, I see how you're reflecting, but to be able to challenge you in some of the decisions and providing you with the necessary guidance that you need to take forward to be able to develop. So that one-on-one is very helpful, and they can be able to flag to the professional team when you need a one-on-one session, say for instance, with a particular technical expert. Say for instance, they say they realize that your finance is lacking, they can say maybe have a one-on-one session with a Rendani, or have a one-on-one session from a tech side with a Fedi, for instance. So that mentorship is very critical in that element. Over and above that, and lastly, which is also going to move me to the fourth promise, which is the focus on business acumen. But the mentors are there to also, because they are the people that have been in practice and in commerce and in industry for a bit of time. They understand how their businesses work. So they're able to share with you on a real life basis as to what they do on a daily basis. What type of industry are they working in, so that you are able to challenge them and ask them questions and understand how does one become a good CA out there in terms of understanding the business that you work for, understanding what makes the business tick, and how does this business make money? What is its business model? And how can I make sure that the risks of the business are well identified and well mitigated with some risk management initiatives? So they're able to share with you on that, so that as you receive different case studies throughout the year, including the SAICA final APC case study, which will be completely a different case industry to what you would have probably been exposed to throughout your career, you are able to adapt to that industry, and you are able to adapt so well and know how to research and make sure that I understand the industry, how to make sure that I understand what makes the business tick, etc. So, which is our level of focus in the business acumen. It's not just the mentors that are going to help you do that. In addition, the professional team is there. And in our phase one of the program, we really focus on business acumen. We take a previous APC case study from SAICA and we unpack it with different techniques to say, what are the different techniques that you can use? I mean, you've learned some of the techniques in your academic programs and in preparing for ITC, to say what are the 6 capitals, the pestals, the 5 forces of Porter, etc. SWOT analysis. So to really use a session wherein we remind you of those key tools of understanding a business, and showing you live as to how you do it in a real life environment using a particular case study, so that you are able to do it going forward. And also exposing you to multiple case studies throughout the year. It exposes you to different industries, to what you're potentially or probably working on at work at the moment. And then number 5, that's where our business experts, business writing experts come in. They say to you, let's go through a 2-week workshop where they undertake skills as to how to be the best writer. How do you make sure that you articulate well enough your thoughts, and in a very logical way, using an appropriate style to be able to engage the right level of audience. So the business writer will share with you a couple of tips, will evaluate some of your scripts that you write to make sure that they give you a personalized and rigorous feedback about how to improve the writing. I still remember to this day some of the business writing tips that I was given by the business writing expert when I was where you are sitting today. And it has molded me into making sure that I write efficiently, effectively, and I'm able to communicate the messaging that I want to in a most precise and accurate manner. You've got their passionate and dedicated professional team that Randani has shown you. Those 6 members of the professional team that I lead are very dedicated to ensuring your success, to where you to making sure that at the end of the day, you are not just a CA, but you are one of the best CAs this country has ever produced. Over and above that, they are quite involved in your development. And because of that, they've given up their lives to you to make sure that you can be able to access them at any point in time. So at any point in time, you can just pop them a note on My Universe and say, hey, I want to chat to you, or let's book a session because there's certain feedback that I received that I don't understand, or I want to unpack it in a little bit more detail, or you mentioned this in one of the sessions and I just want to have a conversation about it in a bit more detail. Or together as a team, and you want a specific area that you want to ask questions on, and you book a session as a team, or you will be with them in a WhatsApp group where you can engage with them in that WhatsApp, and they very good at provoking you in terms of just getting your thought process to be in the right direction. So really, really dedicated professional team that we are proud of here at APC. The number 7 of our promise is we will support you technically to make sure that you continue to be technically competent. So everyone who enrolls in this program would have passed their ITC, meaning you've demonstrated your highest level of technical competence at a point in time to SAICA. And now we are here to work on your professional skills and making sure that together between the professional and the technical skill that you possess, make you a competent professional that is a responsible business leader. So what our role will be is to ensure that you maintain that level of technical competence throughout the program, because as much as the case study that you'll be writing are evaluating mainly your professional competence, they are based on a technical case study. And because your technical competence is an assumed knowledge at this stage. So we'll ensure that you maintain that level of technical competence by firstly, making sure that we take you through some of the continuous professional development courses and whatever new standards, amendments to standard legislation, etc., we revive them. We take you through to make sure that you maintain your technical competence. Our case studies are of the appropriate level of technical assessment to make sure that you keep on refreshing that technical competence as well. And if for some reason you've passed your ITC a while ago and you feel like there are certain technical areas that you need to brush up on and to upskill yourself on, also the course enables you to do that through a number of areas. Firstly, case studies. Secondly, you get access to all our ITC and CTA board course materials that you can go through at any point in time and be able to upskill yourself in those areas. When I spoke about a promise number 2, I said we guide you through the APC process. But promise number 8 brings it to life by simulating the actual APC. What do I mean by that? We simulate it in the sense that we write the case study on the same day as what you will be writing at SAICA. We write the case studies at the same venues as the ones that you will be enrolling at for SAICA purposes. We use the same softwares that SAICA uses to make sure that by the time you get there, logistically and understanding the platform that you're going to be using, you are well prepared. And you can be able to handle any curveballs that are thrown to you on the day, and you know how to remain calm, emotionally resilient, and adequately prepared for the APC assessment. 2 of our case studies are venue-based assessments. So we ensure that you're going to write at a venue similar to what SAICA does to prepare you mentally, to prepare you emotionally and otherwise. And lastly, it's beyond an academic support. Brandani showed you a full team of caretaking team that is really interested and well vested in your professional development over and above the professional team that is responsible for your academic support. In addition, you've got your mentors at your disposal. Finally, you've got your fellow colleagues. It's a family. You are part of the same WhatsApp group where you can text any of your fellow colleagues or peers at any point in time and reach out to discuss a particular matter or just how to cope, for instance, as a simple question. If you just push to the next slide, then I can tell you how do we deliver on this 9 promises. We deliver this 9 promises through phased categories. So we've got 3 phases. There is a phase 1, which is the full month that I spoke about, where in that full month, we develop your professional competence. We say, right, technical competence is one area, but there are a couple of competency areas that you need to achieve to be a well-rounded individual. And what are those areas? Ethical leadership, critical thinking, business acumen, communication, and how to work together as a team and how to work with your mentor. And now, ultimately, in that month, how do we integrate all those key skills to be a well-rounded professional? How do I make sure that I don't think about these things in silos, but I'm always conscious of all these elements and deliver on all the elements at all times? And that is developing your integrated thinking. So we spend a month dealing with this. And then after that, then we introduce the Psycha APC in phase 2. And this is where we take you through a detailed guidance as to how should you be approaching this APC case study. How should I be spending the 5 days of research? How should I be researching? What should I be researching? What are the triggers? How do I identify those? And we use a previous Psycha APC case study to do all that in the form of evaluating your professional competence. And in that process, we split the previous APC case study and we make sure that you deal with it in chunks. That's why this process takes 2 months, so that we don't overwhelm you from day 1. We say, no, let's just take 1 task at a time. At some point, let's increase it to 3 tasks in a case study, and then have this mini case studies so that you are able to evaluate your professional competence in stages. That's why we've got mini case study A and mini case study B to evaluate and to demonstrate your professional competence in the 2 months before we really say, now you are ready to go and and be evaluated on your professional competence. And the last phase, which is a 4 months phase, is phase number 3, which is in the next slide. And in phase number 3, this is where we say, right, we've demonstrated your professional, we've developed your professional competence, we've demonstrated your professional competence. Now it's time for you to demonstrate it back to us. And this is where we use 3 internally developed case studies. And with these 3 developed case studies, we say, on the case studies, take a week like the way Psycha is going to ask you to do to deal with the pre-release information. Take the 6-day, write the assessment. Like I said, 2 of those case studies will be written in a venue environment. And once you do that, that's not the end of it. Then the learning starts to say, what could I have done better? What did I do so well? So you've got a period of reflection. So when we are going through the marking process, you are marking yourself on your own. And after marking yourself on your own, you mark yourself with your mentor, meaning you give feedback to the mentor to say, this is where I think I am at. And the mentor challenges you on that reflection as well. And then we, as we're busy marking, we provide you with 2 weekends of feedback on a task by task basis. We say, what should you have done? what did you do, and what are we seeing in the process of marking, and to discuss how you would have gotten to that same level as the professional team with the use of hindsight. So that process is quite a valuable process because it gives you a sense of how to prepare for the next case study and also make sure that I don't repeat the same mistakes, and I am well prepared for the next case study. And then when the results come, you're not shocked. You already have graded yourself. You've already reflected. You pretty much know what the professional team and the marking team are looking for ahead of the next case study. And then you're like, I will show the next case study some flames. And then we give you some breaks to prepare for the next case study. And then that's the same process repeats itself from case study 1 to case study 2 to case study 3. Our expectation is that you need to demonstrate some level of competence in 2 of those 3 case studies, meaning you need to be competent in 2 of the 3. Then we give you a certificate to say you are ready to go and sit for the APC at SAICA. If, let's say, for instance, you've demonstrated competence only in one of the 3 and not 2 of the 3, then we give you a 4th opportunity, which is a supplementary opportunity. And in the supplementary opportunity, you've got to demonstrate that competence for you to get the certificate. So at the end, you would have gone through 4 case studies. Besides that, the 4th case study, even though you already have the certificate, you can write it optionally as a matter of practice, and you will be marked, and that rigorous feedback that I spoke of, you will still get given that level of feedback. I think that's what I wanted to share with you guys in terms of your expectations to the program, plus how we deliver on those expectations. Renani, do you want to move, or should we ask questions at this point, or do you want to deal with the general information first? Moving to the next slide, whilst Rendani is getting ready. Yeah, Rendani.
All right, no, thank you, Fedi. So yes, so I think, yeah, so just to quickly emphasize some of your key talking points. I think the support in terms of throughout the journey, that's something that we really are committed to, just to make sure that at the end of the day and throughout the journey, you never feel like you are alone, and whatever shortfalls that you have, you are able to reach out to the relevant support team and make sure that we provide that key support that you need. And once you are in the program, that's something that will strongly encourage you to do. Don't ever find yourself confused, unclear, or just frustrated without asking for assistance. One of the things that also maybe it's worth mentioning is that, yes, the consultation that you were talking about, they are all included in the tuition. You don't need to pay anything extra. So that you will see in the welcome letter that we're going to be opening it up in the first week of May, after we've just worked through some of the core elements in phase 1. So that if you are saying that I'm still not there and I just want to make sure I bed this down before we go anywhere, that will be a perfect opportunity to start engaging with the support team. All right, Mitebe, if you may go to the next slide, please. So in terms of then the general information, firstly is the tuition. So the tuition is structured as follows. The program that, or the main program, it's 14,000. We do have quite a lot of understanding or arrangements with some of the major firms. So if you work for the likes of AGSA, the big four, um, and the likes of SNG, BDO, Mazars, those are some of the corporates that we worked with before, and they understand how our invoicing process work. So once you enroll, what you just need to do is to then share the invoice with them and confirm that you've enrolled into the EPC program, and then we will handle everything from there, and you'll be treated as a fully registered candidate. In terms of those that will be paying for themselves, we've got a payment plan. The payment plan requires that you pay a 25% deposit, and then there will be installments for the rest of the tuition at 15% throughout the year. So what it means that after you pay the 25%, at the end of the first month, you pay 15% of the 14,000, 15% of the 14,000 until the tuition fee is fully paid up. There's no admin fee that is charged or interest, so you still get to pay 14,000 throughout the payment terms. And additionally, for those that have been with us before, there is a 50% discount, which means that they only pay 7,000 rands. Then included also in the tuition, it's that we send you a research file. So one of the things that you will get to see is that when you go into the APC, you are allowed to go in with everything. So to just facilitate that, or then send you an EPC branded file, which you can then use during the program as well as when going to the actual SAICA APC. And a nice also addition is that we also have 2 feedback surveys that we run during the year. If you complete both of them, we will also send you an Endunamo branded jersey or hoodie for absolutely no consideration. So we will then ship it to any address in South Africa for you as just a token of our appreciation for sharing your feedback with us. Then in terms of the program for 2022, as it stands, we have fully committed to providing the program on an online only basis, which means that you will then be attending the session via platforms like this, Microsoft Teams, and the sessions will be facilitated as per the timetable. Most of the sessions are over the weekend, half day being up until 1 o'clock, and occasionally we have evening sessions. So we just aim to balance the two, because full weekday classes don't work for some, and full weekend classes don't work for some. So we have this year tried to balance the two, just to make sure that you don't have too many weekend sessions, and also you don't have too many evening sessions. So once you've gotten the time to work through the timetable, you will see how we've thought about that. In addition, some of the elements in the program will be delivered through pre-recorded session. So maybe we're saying that maybe this is a complex area, or maybe we just want to enhance the discussion before a session. We can give you some pre-recorded material that you can work through ahead of a scheduled session. Then the mentorship, as Fedi highlighted, it's something that we are really passionate about. And one of the things that we've done this year from the feedback we received in 2021 is to really give you more structure, to say that why should I be part of the mentorship program? How should I run part of my mentorship program? And as part of your competent professional journey or developing a professional competence, it's really one of the bubbles in the competency framework to build enabling competencies around relationship acumen, because you will get to realize that in this profession, you need other professionals to grow. And this is your opportunity to use that opportunity, to use this mentorship program as part of developing your relationship acumen, driving the program for your own success. Because at the end of the day, it's you who need to use that program to succeed. So as part of developing that relationship acumen, you then drive it towards your own development. And that's what we want to see, the success of you driving that program as well as your mentor, and us only getting involved wherever there is a need. But we would like to then get to the end and say, guys, you gave us clear guidance on how to do this. I drove my own program. I'm the one who used to call up my mentor to say, this is what I am lacking. I need assistance here. And by doing that, they were able to provide me with the support that I need. So that's something that we really want to hear at the end of the day, because as much as that's not formally assessed in the APC, it's critical in your professional journey. And we would like for you to just be mindful of that and see yourself a success. Then assessment structure, it's as Fedi mentioned. One of the things that I'll also just like to add them is just around just involving you in the process of the marking, to say that we want you to understand, because the marking in APC is so different from what you've seen in ITC. And you will then have a situation where we give you what we call a specimen response, and what a marking grid, which some of you know is a rubric. And you will see that there are points, and you will find that it's not a matter of ticking as many points as possible to demonstrate competence, because some of the tasks are multidisciplinary, as the case is, which you will then find it means that the task has got an accounting component and an auditing component. So if you got all the accounting right and none auditing, it might not demonstrate competence. So those are some of the things that we understand can become very confusing. And what we then do as part of that rigorous feedback, as part of walking through with you in phase 3, is to walk through that journey of helping you understand how to think about developing responses that demonstrate competence. So that is something that you will see we do through providing guidance to you around our marking process. We do it by providing seeded scripts, where you get the scripts that we use as part of the test badge. You mark those along with us. You then grade them, and therefore you have a better perspective on how we grade. So there's quite a lot of transparency that we've built into the marking process, just to help you be aligned with us throughout the journey. And once you are aligned, you then have a better understanding of what to do, how to develop a competent response. Because I can promise you, you're going to hear the question to say that, how do I know it's enough? That's the most common question we get when it comes to marking and responding. So as part of the assessment structure, you'll then get to see how we help you understand and respond to that question. My Universe, which is the portal that you will have seen if you have already registered, is the one that we use to deliver the program. So you've got your assessments there, you've got your videos there, you've got your timetable there, and everything that you need. So it doesn't matter whether you're coming in a week after the program, it doesn't matter whether you had a hectic month. When you come back, everything will be easily accessible to you in or on My Universe. Then in terms of registrations, we opened last year. We've got cohorts, as I was mentioning, that are enrolled as part of our APC comprehensive course. So when you come in the first session, you will see that there are candidates that will have started the journey already, but the journey with you, it will start there, and you will not feel confused, or you will not find that you have missed anything. It's just different elements, and you don't need to worry about the things that have already passed. But if you are one of those curious ones, we will help with access at no consideration at all. If you just say, what were the
Is it just me or we've lost Rendani?
We have.
Not alone.
Okay, great. Yes, but back on the point that he was on in terms of the comprehensive course that we've been running so far, maybe just to give a bit of color on it. What we did with the comprehensive course, we ran it for 2 months. It was just for those candidates that were not as confident as far as their ITC and CTA is concerned, to rebuild their technical skill, to just make sure that they're at the right level of technical competence. And how is that technical competence continuing to be assessed at ITC level? Sorry, at APC level. So you didn't miss much because the full program is starting this Saturday, the 2nd of April. And that is when we're going to start from phase 1 with session number 1. But Rendani was making a point that should you wish to see and have access to the videos and lecturing material that we used in the 2 months of the comprehensive course, more than happy to arrange that for you. Thanks. Rendani, do you want to close up on the registrations or are you back?
I think I'm back. You can hear me.
I think you are.
Yes.
Yeah, you are.
Thank you. Yes. So I agree. And the reason I was putting it out there, I know that some of you were surprised that there was already a timetable, and then there were sessions. So you have not missed anything. So when we kick off, we're gonna kick off at really the right point, or it's at a point where everybody's treated as new. So there will not be any follow-up issues. Any candidates that will then have follow-up issues will then just be taken offline. But don't worry if you have seen that there are sessions that have already been kicked off and you're thinking, oh, wait, am I 2 months late? So I just wanted to clarify that point, that you are not. The APC professional course is the one that will then be kicking off and running up until November, as said before. And then in terms of enrollment, there is what we call just to make sure that you are aligned in terms of the program administration and processes. When you get your profile, when you have either paid the registration or the employers confirmed that they will be paying, your account will be activated. You will get an activation email. Once you get that activation email, it will be accompanied by a reference to a welcome letter. So that is one of the most important documents you need to read. So it outlines the administration process. It confirms the contact information of the caretaking team. It talks about the eligibility criteria in high level, the ones that we're going to be sharing with you in our first session. It talks about the consultations. It talks about the commitment to quality. It also talks about the WhatsApp group that Feli mentioned, and other communication platforms that we use. So it is very important so that you are clear in terms of the administration of the programs. Say you are saying that, okay, how do I join the class on Saturday? The administration, the welcome letter will clarify that. In addition to the welcome letter, we've got what we call monthly notes. So monthly notes, we then issue them to you to then just help you to navigate the program, to say that from an administrative perspective, are the same deadlines that I need to be mindful of. Maybe you need to enroll into the case study. Maybe you need to apply to the mentorship program. Maybe you need to share your feedback. Maybe you need to register for some psych-related matter, so that we share all those admin processes through the monthly notes. And we've got what we call the phase notes. Since there are 3 phases, there are 3 phase notes that you'll get. And the phase notes just then help you to say, what are we doing here, guys, in phase 1? So Fedi has outlined to you what we are doing at each phase. But in addition, we believe it's so important for you to be able to have a reflective document. Where now you're saying that, wait, I think I've lost where this program is going. What are we here to do? What does it mean to say I need to develop my competence in phase one? Then you will have what we call success measures that will say after phase one, you need to do 1, 2, 3, and this is how we're going to help you to do it. Then after phase two, what do you need? So on and so on. So those are like technical phase notes. So those three documents will always keep you in check and will also keep us in check. So we make our promises and commitments in those documents, and those are the ones that will really help us deliver a quality program to you, and you can know at any point where you are and where you are going with the program. So please, once you've had your account activated, take time to go through that. If you need any guidance or clarification, the caretaking team is always ready to answer any of your questions. And also there is what? There is also a comprehensive questionnaire that clarifies some of the key administrative as well as assessment related issues, especially for those that are not based in South Africa, that are saying that, okay, how do assessments work if I'm based in Zim, if I'm based in Namibia? So we've got guidance on that so that you can know, if you are not from South Africa, what you're getting yourself into and how far you'll then be able to benefit from the program. So those are just some of the general information. But as the program progresses, we will then ease you into some of the more critical aspects, and you'll then be able to what? You'll then be able to make sure you are aligned with all the key requirements. And that is essentially that from my side. But maybe let me give you an opportunity to ask any questions around the program, administration, tuition, anything on your mind. Is there anything that you would like to clarify tonight, please? Anyone? Yes. Is it Pretty? I think I remember this name. Good evening.
Hi, Renani. Evening. I just want to ask something with the other program. I'm not sure if it's called the extended APC program. That one is
Okay.
it? Yeah, is it also the same structure as this one? Are we also gonna get the mentorship program and the assessments? Are we all also gonna write the same assessments as the people that are eligible for the certificates this year?
All right. So just to confirm, so there's the APC comprehensive, right, which is the one that we're saying that started earlier. Then there's the professional. Then there's the repeaters. Then there's the deferred, right? Are you
I'm
talking
not.
about the deferred?
I think it's the deferred, the 2 years one, because I'm not eligible.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm not sure which one is it. Yeah.
yes, it's the deferred. So
Okay.
that one, yes. So that one, the way it works is this. So we then are inviting everyone that is saying, for instance, that I've just passed my ITC now in Jan, but based on my experience, I'm not going to be eligible to sit for APC this year. But I want to just make sure that over the next 24 months or over the next couple of months, I'm preparing myself for what the APC is all about and making sure I take the very best from my training program in this period. So essentially, what then happens is that there are three phases in our program. In 2022, you will attend phase one and phase two. So while you do so, you will then have the full benefits. You will write all the mini case study that Fade was talking about. You will participate in the mentorship program and any related support that will put through into the program. But what it means that come the assessment phase, which is phase 3, then you will take a break because now you are saying that I've now gotten a very strong sense what this is all about. So when I go back to my training program and I'm asking my manager that my manager, APC is going to assess my business acumen, my critical thinking. Can you help me from say June 2022 until November 2023 when I sit for my assessment? So essentially then go on a break after June. Then you resume the program from phase 1 next year. And then you do phase 1, phase 2, and phase 3. And the way that the tuition for that works is that this year you pay only 7,000, and the next year, when we issue the fees, the amount that you've paid this year is then credited against your account next year. So let's say next year we still are charging, say 14,000. So that means you will say 14,000 minus the 7,000 that you paid this year, and you'll just pay the balance next year. So that is how that the extended or the deferred program works. Makes sense?
Okay. Yes, it makes sense. Thanks.
All right. In relation to the classes starting on the 2nd, since I'm still to request an invoice for submission to the firm I work for, will I still be able to attend the class on Saturday? So, Ioannis, so if you if you then get the invoice, email it to your email it to your employer using that platform we have online. Then what will happen? We can ask the caretaking team to provide you with access for the Saturday class so that you don't miss anything. So as you wait for your employer, and then what will then help you to do is to attend once that process is finalized. Because some employers we know, especially now that we are kicking off at the end of the month, there could be some end of month process that they are doing. So we normally then are cognizant of that. Maybe we can give you 7 days for them to resolve that part. And if you need us to assist maybe by following up or anything, we can also do that. So for the upcoming class, what we'll then just ask you to do is to enroll and then follow that process, and then we will assist come Saturday session. Got that? Got it. Great. So employers also pay for the deferred program. So different employers have got different policies. So if you want us to help with that, because sometimes what could happen, we can then charge them the full tuition, which is the 14,000. Then you know that you are then covered for the entire program. If they just want more information about it, you can also reach out to the caretaking team, and we are more than happy to advise or write any letter that may be required. But we know that some have confirmed that they will pay. They just wanted to pay the full tuition rather than pay half this year and pay half the other year. So they wanted to just pay the full tuition now and leave it there. So you can just check with your firm what they are open to do, and if you need any further supporting documents or letters from us, we can assist with that. Got that? All right, great. Any other question? I don't see any hand. Oh, Shilongi, yes. Good evening, Shilongi.
Evening. Evening. I just wanted to ask, in terms of the assessments that we're going to write, are you going to provide us with exam letters? Also for the mini case studies, we will also be given exam letters for that.
So I can confirm what we were doing last year. So last year we were only giving exam letters for the main case studies. So what then we do is that before the case study, there's a platform online where you just then go and type your details and it generates the letter. So that platform will still be available. So the letter, then what it does, it confirms the assessment days, it confirms the pre-release and what normally the time that is required. And you can then have it as an official supporting document for the assessment. For the mini case studies, we never did that officially because I think most employers were looking for those that are required to lead to the eligibility, which were the primary case study. But if you want something else, I think that one can just be done on a manual basis.
And Rendani, maybe just to add in, the reason we never did for the mini case studies in the past is because the assessment is written on a Saturday.
Oh, yes, thank you.
So usually for the mini case studies, both our mini case studies are written on a Saturday. So usually no need to take leave, and other than just if you want to use the leave for preparation purposes.
Great, thank you, Fedi. So some the timetable is already available. So it should be on the website. Mitembe, can you please confirm that for me? So it should be on the website. The timetable is we issued it earlier last month or end of last month, Feb. So it should be there, but yeah, Mitembo will quickly confirm.
What was the question, Mr. Up?
Okay, yeah, someone has confirmed that the timetable is there. So the timetable, it's available for the entire year. So what it does is that it then helps you to plan for the year. So especially now, maybe you want to start a conversation and say, I'm registered for the EPC program. These are the dates. So you can expect a letter for leave from me, say end of June, and so on and so on. So we give that a timetable in advance. So we are really committed to those dates. So last year we committed to them and we didn't move them. So this year we plan to do the same. We will probably only consider moving under significant circumstances, which, as Fedi mentioned, that some of the assessments are online and some are face-to-face or venue-based. If, for instance, there's another COVID wave, that's probably when we can consider it. But as it stands, we've committed to those dates, and you can start communicating with your managers or employers around them. All right, thank you. All right. Anything else from your side? If for whatever reason later on you've got anything, the caretaking team, it's available to assist. All right, that is all from my side. All right, wait. Will the APC assessment be written on the 23rd of November? I think the team confirmed yes last time. I think they confirmed so. So yeah, when we created the timetable, we were being mindful that it might be on that day. So the program will already be done. And what we do is that once the program is ended, you still have full access to us, in terms of one, the online portal is still fully active. You can arrange a consultation with us, anything that you still need, we still provide that support. So as much as the program might say this is the last assessment and we've issued certificates, you don't need to worry about that. Make sense? All right. That is all from my side. Thank you, everybody, for joining us tonight. We appreciate your time, and we are really looking forward to having you in the program and working through this journey with you. Have a good night, everyone. Thank you, Fede.